What's up and welcome to My Point of View. I am your fat and opinionated host, and I'm sure that you all have heard the saying, when it rains, it pours. And man, oh man, does that ring so true to my ears. I think us common people, the common man or the common woman, I think that we understand that phrase. When it rains, it pours. Like when something bad is happening, there's always more bad things happening. When you're going through a rough spot in your life, there's always more obstacles being thrown at you because when it rains, it pours. But I feel like a lot of people have forgotten that. Especially these higher ups, these powerful people, because in many ways it seems like they have been set up to where they cannot fail. It's like they fail upwards. When we fail, we come crashing down to earth, but they fail upwards. So they don't really understand that when it rains, it pours. But you know what? We're changing that. Ask Bud Light if they understand that phrase now. Ask Target if they understand that phrase now, because what's happening is it's not just drizzling, it is pouring down on these companies from left, right, up, down, every single direction you can think of, especially for Bud Light. Bud Light is getting hit from every direction. We're boycotting Bud Light. The woke mafia, they're boycotting Bud Light. We got freaking independent beer distributors who are pulling out. They're mad at Bud Light. We got people buying back their businesses from Anheuser-Busch. They're getting hit from all angles. And now, it just so turns out that they have been hit with environmental violations from the EPA. And they're about to have to settle and pay a lot of money, because it turns out that they haven't been following certain guidelines that they're supposed to be following. And the production of their beers has been harmful for the environment, apparently. So like I said, when it rains, it pours. And it's pouring on Bud Light right now. I want to go ahead and dive into this article, but first, make sure you hit that like button. We got to get these likes up. Share this video. Drop your thoughts and comments down below. And without further ado, let's dive right in. Another hit. Bud Light manufacturer settles with the EPA over alleged environmental violations. Anheuser-Busch, the parent company of embattled beer brand Bud Light, agreed to pay over $500,000 to the EPA after being accused of violating the Clean Air Act. The beer manufacturer will pay $537,000 in fines and implement a comprehensive safety review at 11 of the Anheuser-Busch plants that use anhydrous ammonia, according to the EPA. The settlement was in part spurred by an accident at an Anheuser-Busch facility in 2018 in Fort Collins, Colorado, that left 2 workers injured after an ammonia leak. This settlement with Anheuser-Busch sends a message to companies that store hazardous materials like ammonia that have an obligation to follow regulation designed to protect our communities and environment from potentially catastrophic consequences of accidents. EPA Regional Administrator Casey Becker says, failure to comply with the law puts first responders and members of the surrounding community in harm's way. Anheuser-Busch facilities in New Hampshire, California, Colorado, Texas, Ohio, Florida, New York, Virginia, Georgia, and Missouri will all undergo comprehensive reviews on their storage of ammonia, which is used in the production of beer. Facilities in New Hampshire, Colorado, and California were all the subject of an EPA investigation from 2016 to 2019. The agency claimed that Anheuser-Busch failed to comply with recognized and generally accepted good engineering practices. The settlement comes as Anheuser-Busch has seen several months of financial turmoil after partnering with Dylan Mulvaney. So, I want you all to understand, folks. You see this fine, and what is it, like $530-something thousand? That's a lot of money to us. Obviously, to Anheuser-Busch, that's a drop in the bucket, right? So you see that fine, and you're like, whatever, Anheuser-Busch is down over $20 billion. Do we care about another 500,000? Maybe not. But it's just another blow to Bud Light. And also, you have to think about it like this. Sure, they were only fined about $500-something thousand. But guess what? All of these production plants across America where they're making Anheuser-Busch products, where they're making Bud Light, all of these big plants are about to go under review. Meaning, Anheuser-Busch is most likely going to get hit with more fines. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is, because of this, I can guarantee you they're going to have to spend countless amounts of money making changes to these warehouses, changes to these plants where they're making this beer in order to comply with the EPA. So you look at the fine and you're like, man, yeah, I'm glad they got hit with the fine, but it's kind of small. But you have to think about the fact that they're probably at this point, they're going to have to go into every place where they make Bud Light in America, and they're going to have to spend millions, doing whatever the EPA instructs them to do to make sure that the production of this beer is safer for everyone, including the communities surrounding these big warehouses and facilities where they create this stuff. So if this was happening at a different time, it would still be a thorn in the side of Bud Light and Anheuser-Busch. But this is coming at the worst time for this company. They're down billions upon billions upon billions. They're not selling beer. They're totally collapsing. And now, just to put the icing and the cherry on top, they're getting hit with fines. And who knows what may happen? They may have to shut down some of these facilities once they go under review until they figure out whatever they can do, whatever they can build, whatever changes they can make, renovations, in order for them to safely make Bud Light without putting all of these chemicals and stuff into the air. So, it's hilarious to me because, like I said, when it rains, it pours. And these billion-dollar corporations, they kind of forgot that along the way. But it's up to me and it's up to you to remind them of that concept. Let me know your thoughts, though, down in the comments below while you're down there. Hit that thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button. Ring that notification bell. And I will talk to you all in the next video.